Tina Spalding, Trance Channel, here today for our daily Course in Miracles lesson together. Thank you for joining me. We are doing lesson number 147, My Mind Holds Only What I Think with God. It is a review period. Reviewing lesson number 133, I Will Not Value What Is Valueless. And reviewing lesson number 134, Let Me Perceive Forgiveness as It Is. And there are no further instructions. So that is lesson number 147. My mind holds only what I think with God. Let's see what Jesus has to say to us today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and it is important as you go through these lessons to remember what we are leading you towards. We are leading you towards peace, and peace is a quality of mind that is going to allow your guidance to speak to you very, very easily. The ego's job is to keep you alive, to keep you safe, to keep your body physically present so that you can be here in this 3D focused experience. But when you begin to use the ego for future planning, it does not fare well. And when you are constantly in the ego mind, which is promoted in this society, so there is not a lot of spiritual teaching in mainstream media or in your movies. Sometimes religion will show up in your movies, but it's usually in a horror movie in some capacity. You are living in the ego mind most of the time. So when you begin to go into the future, the ego mind becomes panicked and anxious. And this is what keeps many of you awake at night, trying to figure out how to, for example, get the money together for an event next month that you wish to go to. And you will be trying to figure it out, but you can't figure it out. And you won't be able to find any peace because you are actually in the ego mind trying to figure out something that it's not its job to figure out. The spiritual guidance that is your natural right, however, is much quieter than the ego. And as you go through this journey towards peace, your guidance is going to get louder and louder or more easily discernible. It doesn't ever yell at you like the ego does, but it becomes more easy to discern. So, for example, if you envision yourself down in a dense forest, there's a pathway there. You can't really see where you're going, and you are stepping over a bridge that looks like it's a little wobbly. The ego may send a shock of adrenaline through your body saying, stop, don't go over that bridge. And that is an appropriate use of the ego mind. It is telling you to stop. It's dangerous to go any further. Now, it is as if spirit is up on a mountain looking down on that dense forest, and you're down there with the ego, not being able to see where you're going. Spirit will then communicate with you and say, you need to turn left here at the fork in the path. There's a big crevasse ahead of you if you continue straight, but if you go left, you're going to find a way much more easily. We can see it from up here. If you are only ever listening to the ego mind, you may not take that left-hand fork and you may continue on without that guidance that was offered to you. So what you want to understand here is that as your mind becomes more and more peaceful, the ego's raucous and fearful voice is more easily discerned, and the quieter, gentle nudgings of spiritual guidance can be felt more clearly. They are often drowned out by the overly fed and overly boisterous ego's voice. So this is something that we want you to understand is going to shift and change as you go through these lessons. As you go through these lessons, you are going to find that you have less tolerance for the fear-mongering of the ego. And when the ego starts to get you worried about something in the future or resentful of something in the past, we want you to bring to mind this idea of the forest and the ego's inability to see further down the path. We want you to then say, okay, I must be using my ego mind here because I'm very fearful about the future. Let me not listen to these thoughts. Let me not empower the ego's thought system here. Let me step into the Holy Spirit's thought system. Let me grab my Course in Miracles until I feel calm again. Let me mull over a few lessons. Let me do a little meditation and let me ask for guidance because I really don't know what decision to make here. And you don't have to make a rushed decision. The ego will push you to make a rapid decision. Spirit will guide you slowly and gently and surely through your life. And so that is just a little story we wanted to bring forth to you today so that you understand what process you are involved in. Instead of listening to the ego all the time, you are now beginning to get periods of peace in which you can hear and feel your guidance from above. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.